The app is called Gettr, a new social media platform launched by Jason Miller, former Trump spokesman and aide, and now CEO of Gettr. He's on the line with us now. Jason, congratulations on the launch of Gettr. Thanks for coming on with us on the show today.
Howie, thank you so much. This is very, very exciting. It's cool to be able to kick off a new social media platform. And listen to this. We surged to number 8 on the free app download charts, number 3 for social media, and over on Google Play, we've been holding steady at number 2 for about 3 days now. So this is a lot of energy, a lot of excitement with this.
That's great news. I do want to clear something up, though. Howie is on vacation. I'm Taylor Cormier filling in for him. But we're happy to have you just the same, Jason, and this is exciting.
My sincere
That's okay.
apologies.
Listen, you can call me Howie if you want. If you want to provide me his paycheck, too, that's all right by me.
Thank you so much.
This has been quite a journey in the social media world. Ever since President Trump got into office, there was concern over what people would be posting on Twitter. Now it seems that has gone away because you've got people like, I'm sure you saw the story of Tom Leykis today, former shock jock, and tweeting about this race car track incident where an audience member in Georgia was killed by a crash. He posted to Twitter, "One less Trump supporter." The tweet is still up there. He has not been banned. He's not been shadow banned. He's still allowed to post whatever he wants to. But, President Trump puts out some tweets that people don't like, calling people, a nickname here and there, and he gets thrown off of Twitter. Well, it's rules for thee and not for me, but that's not the way it is with Gettr, is it?
Well, no, I mean, heck, take a look at the fact that the Ayatollah in Iran has an active Twitter account, or the fact that Hamas is, I think they affectionately refer to him as the political director, but he's essentially the chief terrorist organizer within Hamas, has an active Twitter account. But they go and deplatform President Trump, and they deplatform thousands of conservatives. And again, it's not even just Twitter. It's take a look at all the people kicked off of Facebook. And even taking a step further, it's not even just deplatforming the voices of individuals. As we saw with the Hunter Biden story, it's the suppression of true and accurate news stories that are out there. So what we set out to do, and there's really a lot of the interest to this, was sparked up after the Hunter Biden squashing with big tech and big media. These social media oligarchs kind of came together to put the clamp down and say, we want Joe Biden to win the election. We want to come up with an open, free marketplace of ideas, a place where people can go and express their political viewpoints, not have to worry about being canceled or being deplatformed. But we want to do it with superior technology. I think for too long, conservatives have been told, oh, yeah, you can go and start up your own platform, but it's going to look terrible. It's going to look junior varsity. We're going to go and actually show that we have a lot of features that are even better than what the Silicon Valley giants have.
That's great to hear. There was kind of a flood of these social media startups. You had places like Parler and Gab and Parler was deplatformed themselves. They were taken down from the App Store, and they weren't hosting their own servers. Do you foresee problems like that?
Well, there are two things that we've done to really address that on the front end. Number one is to make sure that we have a robust moderation program at the very beginning. And look, as somebody who very much values free speech, as someone who has been on the receiving end of the media putting their clamps down, or the big tech giants, want to make sure that we're able to do this. Well, we also have to make sure we have a good policy that confronts things on the front end. And so, I'll give you an example. We have a two-pronged system with both AI, artificial intelligence, to catches certain things, and we have a human review team that goes and looks through it. And then where things are questionable or it's not an easy decision, we escalate it up to an executive team so we can go and deal with these. Having this proactive, very aggressive moderation program on the front end. And again, what we're looking for are the types of, if somebody were to go and post, for example, racial epithets or physical threats or intimidation, anything that would get you in trouble with the law in the normal walk of life. Like if you walked into, a restaurant and started throwing down, racial epithets, or you went up to someone at a convenience store and said you're going to physically hurt them, there would be consequences to that. So those are the things we want to make sure don't happen. But you are never going to be deplatformed or censored for speaking out on political issues on our platform. That is where the differential is. We want to make sure that, again, there are a lot of people who have issues with the way that the election was run this last year. People who look and say, we want to tell the truth about what's going on with battling COVID and COVID recovery. And think about all the people who are deplatformed for saying that hydroxychloroquine works. or for people saying, I'm not sure if masks are as effective as Anthony Fauci is saying, and people are deplatformed for that. That's not going to happen here.
Right. Basically anything that Trump ever said, and people called him outlandish and crazy for ever thinking such things, and then it took months, but he was proven to be right on most of these things. You won't be deplatformed for those things. Does that go for people who might be of a more liberal mindset that want to join?
So this is a great question, and look, we want to have as many. Here's the qualification we got to say for coming to our site. If you appreciate free speech and you believe that we should not be trying to cancel people, then we want you to come to our platform. We want you to come to Gettr. We want you to create an account. We want people from the left, and certainly with our kickoff, in addition to the United States, the number 2 country for most usage on our first day was Brazil. And in fact, we have the son of President Bolsonaro, who's already joined our platform. The communications director for the president has already joined the platform. So we see this as a big international push that we're going to have. And so there are people who wouldn't, traditionally define themselves in the liberal or conservative bent, especially if they're in a different country. But here's the thing that brings us all together: free speech. And the belief that is our most important, most cherished right. There's a reason it's the First Amendment.
Now, we've talked about President Trump being deplatformed from Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, all of these other places. His voice has been missed by many in those places. We look forward to every day. I mean, he's still putting out these emails, and people retweet these emails, but it's just not as interactive. It's not as fun as it once was. Is President Trump going to be joining your network?
I hope we get him. We talked about it Saturday night. I gave him a call after his fantastic speech in Sarasota. When I'd already went and showed him the technology and shared it with him a couple of weeks earlier. He's watching very closely how we're doing. I think he wants to see how we kick off and how things move along. I told him that I have @RealDonaldTrump in a safe in my office, a big, beautiful safe that's sitting over in the corner, so that I'm ready to bust it out, and you tell me the word, sir, and I'll open it up and I'll activate the account. And he got a chuckle out of that. And he said, okay, I'm watching. Let's talk again soon. So I know he has a number of different offers and things for different platforms to consider. And the one thing I learned for working for President Trump is let him make the decision on his own timetable. But the one thing that I can do on our timetable is we've already crossed over 1 million people who've downloaded the app and signed up with an account. And so literally, that's just within a couple of days, we've had 1 million people. So when you think about how long it took for Twitter, Facebook, Instagram to cross 1 million, it took them quite a while. We did it within a couple of days. That's very impressive, and it just shows how much free speech advocates in this country want a new platform.
I do see that the President Trump has an announcement slated for tomorrow. Anything related to the work you're doing?
Indirectly, not directly. The president's going to be taking issue with some of the social media oligarchs, the folks who have previously kicked him off of their social media platforms, really in a discriminatory type fashion, I would add, in a manner that they can't really even justify. When we saw Facebook with their whole review board try to kick it back to Facebook, and it's all over the map. So I think you're going to see some legal action from President Trump against those entities. So I'll be watching it via live stream very intently, but not directly connected to anything we're doing. But there, again, if President Trump was up and going on social media and hadn't been deplatformed, and thousands of conservatives and quite frankly, even liberals and leftist center people hadn't been kicked off for ticky-tack nonsense things or being shadow banned and things like that, then there wouldn't be a need for a Gettr. But with the way that these tech giants want to play judge, jury, and executioner with our First Amendment rights, it was time someone stepped up and did something about it.
Now, we've been having this interesting conversation on the air here today about cancel culture. How far back is too far to go into somebody's tweets or somebody's Gettr posts and use it against them, get them fired, get them taken out of the social elite status that they've been enjoying for however many years? Public policy has yet to really catch up to the internet age. Should there be, do you think, now that you're involved in all of this, kind of a statute of limitations on free speech? How far back can somebody go before they can get you fired?
So this is a great point here, and I think as a society, I think just that we're looking to try to cancel people, that's really a problem. And one of the things, I mean, I'm 46. I can tell you, we definitely did not have social media when I was a kid or in high school or even in college. I know that a lot of folks who are in my generation probably would have been canceled long ago if their commentary, whether it be if we had Facebook or Twitter or some other Instagram back in our formative years were available. We've set a rule that you have to be at least 16 to be able to join the platform. There's even some internal debate should it be a little bit older. But we want to make sure that as folks are approaching the age of being able to vote, that they're able to have an opportunity to get information, to learn about candidates and things like that. But I just the whole notion of we're going to go dig something out of the past and come and try to cancel someone. I think even beyond just the speech issue, I think just on a human decency side, look, people's opinions change, their viewpoints change. Maybe there was something going on in their life at the particular time when they made a comment. Maybe the dynamic has changed. Maybe it was perfectly acceptable what they said at the time that they said it, and then society decided to shift or move on, or their own opinion has changed. I think before we rush to try to judge people, we should remember that really at the end of the day, outside of the laws, if there's something here with man, there's only one person who really judges, and I think as a society we should really take a step back and quit trying to kneecap or take out people. It's just that whole mentality, I think, just really is pretty disgusting.
I know it's a tough question to answer, Jason, but should there be more government oversight when it comes to matters of the internet, and specifically speaking, social media? I mean, we've seen the hearings with Mark Zuckerberg and with Jeff Bezos and all these other people that have gone before committee hearings. These senators and these Congress people, they have little to no understanding of how the internet works. I don't think we can trust these people to set policy based on their working knowledge of the ins and outs of social media.
So you really hit on an important point here, because there are certain antitrust matters that I do think that they would understand. I think with some of these big tech companies, we're going to have to address in the pretty near future, because especially the way some of the media consolidation has gone a bit too far. And I don't think that many of the rules when they were written were anticipating the consolidation of power for some of these social media monopolies. That being said, as far as getting into the aspect of speech or exactly how social media works, I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, the last people on the planet that I would have confidence in getting to a good answer would be members of Congress who, again, I love everybody equally, but, they're largely going to be old white guys who wouldn't know a Twitter from a truck, and that's the thing that would concern me, is that they would just find a way to screw it up even more. I mean, let's just be realistic. These are, for the large part, there's some very good members of Congress, some very good senators, some that I consider friends, and some who definitely I would not consider friends. I probably don't care that much for me either. But the fact of the matter is, they have failed to use their voice to protect our voice, and that kind of tells you everything you need to know. Is so many of these members of Congress and senators have watched as our rights have been stripped and taken away, and they've really done nothing about it. So why would we think that they would be the experts to go and fix the problem now?
All right, Gettr.com, Gettr.com. Anything else that we need to know about the platform before we sign up?
So it's super cool, 777 characters, about 2.5 times the length of a tweet, 3-minute videos. You can import all of your tweets into the platform, and so don't feel like you're throwing away your intellectual property, your videos, your pictures. You can hit a button, import all of your tweets, and
that's
your whole
cool.
history with you. And it is so cool, and it blows people's minds. Like, how do you do this? I'm like, you know why? Because you own your own intellectual property, and this is what's just taken the internet by storm right now.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Jason. Really appreciate having you on the show today. We'll talk to you soon. 844-500-4242. We'll be back. I'm Taylor Cormier, filling in for Howie Carr. This is the Howie Carr Show.
Follow Howie on Twitter @Howie Carr Show. You won't regret it.